I made this quilt. I'm thrilled to have been awarded the Bernina Award for Machine Work. Let me read it. Bernina Award for Machine Workmanship. It's been an exciting few days. I love to do machine embroidery, and I like especially to do freestanding lace designs, and I love designs that are superimposed over other designs, and this quilt kind of includes all of them. The inspiration for the quilt was really this triangular embroidery design from Zunt Designs. All of the quilt flows out of that design. I see something and just get a picture in my head, and it takes almost no time when the picture happens. Then I just need to put it on paper and work out the math. And there was a lot of math in this quilt, so that's the fun part for me. The background of the quilt is Robert Kaufman silk cotton Radiance fabric, and that's where the name of the quilt came from. I was sort of at a loss for the name and just decided that was going to be the end of it. The diamonds are pieced from cherrywood fabrics. There are 7 fabrics in each one of these pieced diamonds, 16 little diamonds that are pieced together to form the big star point. It's a takeoff on a traditional broken star pattern, but I obviously had to change it a lot and put the machine embroidery over it. I had to decide the shape or the size of my star points was dependent upon the size of that machine embroidery design, as were the size of these strips and the size of the squares, the open areas. It looks like a whole cloth, but it's not. There's lots and lots of piecing in here. There are many, many Y seams. It's pieced into the background, not appliqué. So let me show you this, which would be a square in a normal broken star. The seams, which you can't see, but I'll point them out with my fingers, go from here to here. There's a Y seam there, there's a Y seam there, there's a Y seam there, and there, over to here, another Y seam, goes up to here, another Y seam, another Y seam, and we're back to the beginning. So, as I said, there was a lot of drafting and a lot of math. Also, one thing that I did on this quilt, this fabric is directional. It's like a satin or sateen weave, so that it looks different on lengthwise grain than it does cross grain, different shimmer. I cut all my pieces so that the grain of the background fabric is lengthwise in the entire piece. On these strips, they're not just cross-grain strips that are cut and put like this. The grain goes this way on this strip. On this strip, it goes like this. And on this strip, it's diagonal. It's a bias strip so that the grain on all of the pieces goes like this. But the strips had to be cut in different orientations from the yardage. Most of the embroidery threads are isocord, and it's quilted with superior bottom line and kimono silk thread. And let's see, I use Bernina and Pfaff machines for piecing. I use an SWF commercial embroidery machine for the embroidery. And I got that for durability, because when you put maybe 6 million stitches in a quilt, you use up home machines kind of quickly, so I needed something very durable. Oh yes, there's 35 to 40,000 yards of thread in this quilt. That one's easy to calculate because I just saved my empty spools. Time-wise, that's a lot harder to figure out because I don't have a timer on the door to my room and I don't time myself. But I like to say it took me 50 years to develop the skills to make it, and it took 6 to 8 months to actually construct it. So I guess that's all. Oh, the back is also made out of the silk cotton Radiance, going in vertical grain. That was a difficult thing to work with. It's beautiful, but it was very, very difficult to pick out little tiny matching color stitches, and I do have to pick out stitches once in a while because of the weave of the fabric. It's got longer threads on the surface to create that sheen, but it also means it's hard to pick out your thread stitches in there. That was kind of difficult. The other really challenging part about this quilt, I guess, was, you know, when you quilt a quilt, especially pretty densely, it shrinks up more in the length than it does in the width. So this quilt, after it was quilted, and before the little lace triangles were added, was 74 inches long by 75 inches wide. Okay, if you're just binding a quilt, that doesn't really matter. But you can see these little lace triangles there. Those are pieces of lace that I made with my embroidery machine. It's a special kind of program that's stitched out on water-soluble stabilizer. When the stabilizer's washed away, all that's left is the thread. But those are a certain size, and the size can't be changed. I can't make one just a little bit bigger or just a little bit littler, and I can't fill it in. So I had to have the same number of triangles go on for 74 inches, which went 74 inches as 75 inches. And I'm going to do a no-no here and touch the quilt, but I can do that because it's mine. I'm going to turn it around and show you the back. You can see how the back is made zigzaggy so that you can see through the triangles. Well, I had to make a different template for the zigzags for the sides than I did for the top and bottom so that I could fit the same number of triangles on both the sides and the top and bottom. It looks square, it's 1 inch different. And these triangles are just a tad closer together on the sides than they are on the top and the bottom.